Do you know what the shortest war in history was? It's a question that might seem bizarre, especially when you take into account the extensive and complex history of warfare that mankind has endured. We've seen wars that lasted years, even decades, wars that have shaped and reshaped the face of our planet, its political landscape and its cultural mosaic. The concept of war spans centuries, and from the ancient skirmishes of Greece and Rome to the world wars that consumed the globe in the 20th century. Each combat, each battle, each armed conflict has its own story, its own reasons, and its disastrous, often irreparable consequences. They range from the Hundred Years' War between England and France in the Middle Ages to the protracted Vietnam War in the 20th century. However, amidst this gruesome tapestry of battle and bloodshed, there exists a peculiar anomaly. An event so brief, it's hard to believe it's real. But it is. And it took place in a time and place you might not expect. We're not talking about the 20th century, which was indeed filled with rapid technological progress and drastic social changes, but rather the late 19th century. This was an era when the world was charting the course for modernity, an era marked by the Industrial Revolution and colonization, by the rise of powerful empires, and the struggle of smaller states for autonomy. In this backdrop of global change and struggle for power, in the year 1896, unfolded the shortest war in human history. It happened between two entities that, on the face of it, appeared mismatched. One was the mighty British Empire, a colossal force that boasted a powerful navy and an extensive colonial domain. The other was the relatively small Sultanate of Zanzibar, a sovereign state located off the east coast of Africa. This war, an armed that one might expect to stretch over weeks, months, or even years considering the stakes and the players involved, lasted only a mere 38 minutes. Yes, you heard it right, just over half an hour. That's less time than it takes to watch an episode of your favorite TV show or to cook a meal. This brief but impactful event, as fleeting as it may have been, was etched into the annals of history, not for its duration but for the sheer peculiarity of it. It's a moment that makes us question our understanding of war, of time, and of history itself. A moment that stands as a testament to the unpredictable nature of human conflict and the countless stories that weave together to form the tapestry of our shared past. This brief but impactful event took place in 1896, between the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar. The history of Zanzibar is one of long-distance governance and foreign dominion. For a considerable period of 160 years, the tropical island was under the rule of a sultan who resided not on the island itself, but far away in the desert sands of Oman. The Sultan's rule, however, was not the island's first experience with external oversight. Prior to the Omani Sultanate, the winds of the Indian Ocean brought Portuguese conquerors to Zanzibar's shores. The international nature and complex interplay of powers in Zanzibar's past laid the groundwork for a conflict of unprecedented brevity. This fascinating stage set by history witnessed a power shift. Zanzibar slowly started to gain a semblance of independence. This autonomy was not unnoticed, and it quickly caught the discerning eye of the ever-expanding British Empire. The British, who were experts in global politics by this time, a keen understanding of the strategic position of Zanzibar. However, there was an issue that troubled the British crown. Despite acknowledging Zanzibar's newfound sovereignty, there were growing concerns about German influence in the region, which was seen as a potential threat to British interests. In an era of global imperialism and territorial expansion, the British Empire's concerns led to swift actions and strategic decision-making on their part. The third Sultan of Zanzibar found himself under immense pressure from the European powers. In a move to ensure his kingdom's survival, he made the difficult decision of ceding control of his Kenyan territories to the British and the territories in Tanzania to the German Empire. However, it was clear that both European powers had their eyes firmly set on the main prize, Zanzibar itself. In an unexpected move, in the year 1890, Britain declared Zanzibar a British protectorate. This was a monumental decision made without consulting the island's inhabitants, who were the real stakeholders. This unilateral decision reflected the imperial expansion and competitive spirit that defined East Africa during that era. The British Empire, eager to assert its dominance, had added another jewel to its crown. The decision was not greeted with universal approval, leading to tension and unrest in the region. However, the British were quick to consolidate their influence. By the time the world turned its calendars to the year 1893, British influence in Zanzibar was firmly established. The local inhabitants, who had only recently tasted autonomy, now found themselves under the rule of a foreign empire once more. These events represent a fascinating chapter in Zanzibar's history, showcasing the intricate dance of power and politics against the backdrop of colonial expansion. The island's history as a pawn in the game of world powers is a testament to its strategic importance and rich cultural heritage. The history of Zanzibar is a tale of resilience and adaptation in the face of long-distance rule and foreign control. By 1893, British influence in Zanzibar was firmly established. The year 1896 saw the culmination of these tensions in the form of a remarkably short war. It was a pivotal year when the world was on the brink of change. The winds of revolution were blowing, and amidst it all, an extraordinary occurrence unfolded. A war, if one could call it that, which was so brief that it has become a historical curiosity, a chapter in human conflict that has left its mark. The 24 hours of a day seemed infinite, yet this war lasted scarcely more than half an hour. For those involved, time would have felt suspended, a mere 38 minutes stretching into an eternity. The battlefield, a stage for the human drama, saw men, women, and children all profoundly affected. It was a war that was far from traditional. Unlike the drawn-out, bloody conflicts of the past, this was swift. There was no extended period of tension, no buildup of troops, no long nights of dread. Instead, there was a sudden flash of conflict, a burst of violence that passed as quickly as it came. The war was more of a one-sided encounter than a protracted battle. The forces involved were mismatched, as though a titan were fighting an ant. It was not a clash of titans where evenly matched armies faced each other on the battlefield. Instead, one side held an overwhelming advantage, the result of which predestined. Despite its brevity, this short-lived conflict was not devoid of significance. It was a pointed reminder of the deadly efficiency of modern warfare, of the devastation that could be wrought in mere moments. 38 minutes of chaos and destruction, and then silence. The aftermath was testament to the terrifying power wielded by those who had the upper hand. The conflict, which lasted just 38 minutes, was more of a one-sided encounter than a traditional war. A blink in the eye of history, yet one that served to underscore the ever-present potential for violence and destruction. A war, the likes of which the world had never seen before, and hopefully will never see again. So there you have it, the shortest war in history, a fleeting encounter in the expansive saga of human conflict. This remarkably brief face-off between the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar is one that quietly cements itself within the intricate narratives of history. It paints a vivid picture of the past, highlighting the shadowy undertones of colonial aspirations and geopolitical rivalries that once dominated the landscape of East Africa. This ephemeral clash of powers is far more than just a footnote in a history textbook. It's a potent symbol of the era that hinged on the quest for power and domination. It encapsulates the sheer scale of historical events that have converged to shape the world as we know it today. This swift skirmish serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities and implications that arise when foreign powers exert influence and assert control over sovereign nations. At its very core, the shortest war in human history, an embodiment of the ceaseless power struggles that have marred human civilization throughout the ages. It stands as a testament to the countless lives that were forever changed, and the landscapes that were irrevocably shaped by the far-reaching impacts of imperialism and geopolitical maneuvering. The tale of this brief yet impactful war unravels the many layers of human experiences, laying bare the stark realities of conflict and power dynamics. It underscores the diversity of human stories that often remain hidden beneath the surface of grand historical narratives. These stories, while varying in their scale and impact, are all part of the intricate tapestry of our shared history. They shed light on the complex interplay of power, politics, and people, and remind us of the resilience of the human spirit, even in the face of adversity. More than just a historical occurrence, it's a tale that resonates the truth of our collective past and the echoes of its influence in our present. A riveting, albeit brief chapter that conveys the profound importance of understanding our past in order to navigate our future. It's a tale that reminds us of the incredible diversity of human experiences, even in times of conflict.